Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the Political Matrix. The Political Matrix blogcast rolls on. We're doing this on Tuesday the 28th just to keep everything in perspective. The Trump trial has not yet gone to the jury. When we do this again, in fact, we probably will have a reaction to whatever the verdict is whenever the verdict comes in, and we'll post that as quick as we can. Scott Miller with the distinguished mustache is right there, and Greg Fink with the unmade bed is right there. He's in Gainesville, Scott in Pensacola. My name is Rob, and I am holding down the fort in Orlando. Got an interesting text message the other day from Colonel Thomas Shalvoy, Republican candidate for Florida's congressional district, the 9th district, which is the southeast side of Orlando, going all the way down the turnpike to Yeehaw Junction. About 800-some thousand people there, 52% Hispanic. The current congressman is Darren Soto. I'm not sure if he's vulnerable or not. Having only lived here 5 years, I've never seen my congressman. I wouldn't know if he knocked on the door right now. I wouldn't know who he was. And much like the Panhandle with Channel 3 in Pensacola, the Orlando TV stations loathe to do anything political. I mean, it's got to be Jerry Demings or Buddy Dyer, who's the mayor of Orlando, and Jerry Demings, the mayor of Orange County. And that's pretty much the extent of it, unless you're going to put the Seminole County treasurer, was he the treasurer, in prison for boinking 16-year-olds in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
All right, so tax collector. Tom Shalvoy, Colonel Thomas Shalvoy, sends me a text message on Memorial Day, and I frankly blew my stack. I was in Iraq in 2003. The unit I was embedded with started the war. We lost 4 Marines getting to Baghdad. 4. I think of them every Memorial Day and Marine Corps birthday. And so when you talk about the ultimate sacrifice, yeah, that's true. But I mentioned back to Shalvoy, and he's going on the history of Memorial Day. I got that. Our country's at a crossroads, requires experienced leadership. I'm running to represent you in Congress, so we don't have to lose more American lives needlessly. Love that. But I commented back, and I sent back to him, and I said, hey, I know 3 guys who were in the Army that never said use their rank, whether it's tradition or it's against Army regulations. The 3 guys I could think of, I'm not talking about Mike Waltz, the special Green Beret who basically replaced Ron DeSantis in Congress, and then Corey Mills, who's on the northeast side of Orlando all the way over to the beach. He was 82nd Airborne. Both those guys did time in Iraq. But I was thinking of guys by the name of Washington and Grant and Eisenhower, and none of them had to use their rank to get elected to anything. And what do you guys think about that? Am I off base?
Well, I mean, I think probably, was so universally associated with the war, he didn't really have to use his rank.
Everybody knows the general.
Yeah. Everyone knew who. And I mean, that's the thing.
General
Most of these, like General Washington, everyone knew General Washington.
I mean, Grant. I mean, you're talking about 3 guys
U.S.
that were all
Grant,
generals.
yeah.
So, I mean, General Grant.
Okay. I just,
and every bar in America knew Grant.
Exactly. I mean, we had quite a few other congressmen. We had some guys in the 90s run for Congress in the Panhandle of Florida. They used their lieutenant colonel or colonel, their Colonel Bob Pappas, Colonel Mike Francisco, and so I mean, then Chris Joseph. I mean, he used his rank as well.
Greg Merck. Greg used his rank. I think. I mean, it's one thing having a picture of you in combat.
Greg's not here, the commander.
Greg, he was a major in the Air Force. That was his highest rank.
He never really. Greg didn't really harbor on that part. Greg more harbored on economics.
No, well, that's his thing. All right, moving on. A couple of other things. We always hear about Gavin Newsom this, Gavin Newsom that. What a great job he's doing in California. California spends.
Everybody says that.
They spend. He's governor. They've spent billions of dollars on fighting homelessness. I'm not sure how you fight homelessness, but they've spent billions of dollars. In 2021, Newsom has boasted California has become the model for dealing with homelessness, and they adopted the federal policy of paying for hotel rooms. What a great way to trash a hotel. Anyway, last March of 23, he stood before a crowd in Sacramento and made a promise he would now build 1,200 tiny homes to shelter homeless residents in Sacramento, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and I'm not sure if it was Fresno or San Diego. And here we are coming up on the 1st of June. So basically 15 months later, 14, 15 months later. Total number of little houses built under the leadership of Gavin Newsom. Scott, Greg, hold up a finger. How many do you think there are? Correctamundo. I would do one of these, but they have how bad is a state that they can't even waste money on a freaking plywood house? How bad is that? What the hell kind of leadership are they talking about?
I mean, the whole idea, the tiny homes. I mean, the tiny homes that we're talking about, you can get on Amazon. I think Scott looked it up earlier. They're like basically 20.
I'm looking at it right now. You can get a 40-foot tiny house, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, kitchen, the whole 9 yards, delivered to your house. I could get it delivered on May the 30th for $17,000.
I mean, and then you're looking at 1,200 of those. You're looking at less than $27 million, which is very well within the California budget of homelessness.
It's not even a rounding error.
I mean, in reality, if you really want to help fix homelessness, there's 3 branches of homelessness that you have to look at. You have to look at the mental health aspect, the drug dealing and the drug trafficking and the human trafficking aspect, and the ones who really are fucking homeless, who really do need a home. And the first 2 will be taken care of in state facilities. The third one, these tiny homes and stuff like that, could easily fix. You can easily build homes or house these people very safely and very, in a very, thrifty manner, but to where it doesn't look like, they're overly exuberant or anything like that. And they're safe and actually will benefit them in a good way. Homelessness is actually, a very big issue that I've been dealing with a lot here in the Central Florida and also Northwest Florida area, because, it doesn't need to happen. We should not have to have this many people homeless. But, the economy that the government has given us by all their regulations and all their inflation that they have given every single person. Basically it's one thing to give us jobs, then, the salary for the jobs can't pay for your cost of living. And so, and vice versa.
Hey, whoa. I got first person. I can take you to parking lots within 5 miles of my house, between my house and Disney, and I live 4 miles from Disney. And every night you will find people sleeping in their cars. They're not drunk.
Exactly.
They didn't get kicked out by the wife or husband. They are homeless because working full-time at Disney, they don't make enough money to afford a place to live in Orlando. Universal will be opening a whole new theme park next year, about a year away, and they will have 28,000 people working in one park. It's more than double the size of the existing Universal facility. And I guarantee you some of those, they're going to have to build 15,000 apartments for all those people. And then the question is, will those people be able to afford it? I don't know. Moving on, Rick Scott, our junior senator, our former governor, says with Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business that the federal government does not represent America anymore. Scott, would you agree with that?
I agree with it. I've been saying it for years.
Okay, Greg?
I would gallop away with that one and just say yes. The federal government doesn't represent anybody but the federal government.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Rick
represent
Scott
anybody.
says that that Biden, he said not just it's the radical left, but now somewhere along the line, someone is going to have to take on the entrenched governmental bureaucracy.
Yeah, they do.
Because Congress does little and the bureaucracy takes the big turns. And what will we enforce? What do we choose to? He said they're clearly destroying the country. We're $35 trillion of debt. The border's wide open. A foreign policy that's a disaster. We've got a federal government that does not represent America anymore. And by the way, Rick Scott says he wants to replace Mitch McConnell. Boy, I wish they could do it tomorrow or the day after. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, I think he'll be a wonderful replacement for Mitch McConnell. I think the whole idea that Mitch McConnell just did not, he loves spending money especially whenever his wife was and her family was benefiting from it, and a lot of people in his circle were benefiting from it. I mean, there's kickbacks being kickbacks after kickbacks after kickbacks that are allegedly going on there. I mean, for those who don't know, his wife and her family is one of the largest manufacturers in China of a lot of American goods and a lot of American services, and they are Chinese developers and Chinese manufacturers, and that's his entire wife's family, not just her directly, but
and she
her
was
cousins and
what,
nephews and everything
Secretary of
else.
Transportation under
She was
Trump,
Secretary
right?
of Commerce.
Secretary of
She was
Commerce. She was
actually
somebody
Secretary
else's,
of Commerce during
and
the Trump
maybe
time.
in Bush 2,
Yeah, she was
George
also
W.
in
Bush.
a secretary during Bush
Yeah.
W. And so, I mean,
Okay.
the whole idea is that, I mean, they've been feeding at the trough for a long time. I mean, for Rick Scott to do this, I mean, he's going to have to really tackle this very hard. He's got to make sure that the corruption in the healthcare industry is stopped, the healthcare and the housing industry. I mean, the car industry. I mean, all the different industries. I mean, it's just. I mean, he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him. And
All
I mean,
right.
I give it to him. Good luck.
I'm gonna text him, say just good luck going after McConnell or replace him. That'll be good.
Well,
You.
the big uphill battle that he's going to have is to be in leadership in any legislature, you got to be the most prolific fundraiser. That's why Kevin McCarthy, became speaker, because he was the most prolific fundraiser. The problem is that if you want to be the actual guy that fixes stuff, you're going to get in the way of a lot of fundraising.
Yeah,
And
so
that's going to be his greatest obstacle, is the people that try to raise money, that are going to raise money are going to know that raising money under him is going to be extra hard, not extra easy. So it's going to be hard to get their support.
But what I think he might have going for him is that he is actually the wealthiest person in the Senate. And so he's actually on paper. Yeah, on paper, he's supposed to be in our top 1 or 2 of the wealthiest people in the Senate. And so
that doesn't help everyone else raise money.
That doesn't, but it does have a big hammer with it.
It just makes him immune from having to worry about getting reelected. But it does. But his job as leader is going to be to get everyone else elected.
That's true. You're
to keep his coalition together.
Yeah,
right.
You're right about that.
Well, we will see. It's a good thing. Hey, you know what? We've not mentioned Matt Gaetz one time in any of the segments tonight.
Oh,
so I want to say one thing about Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
If I do my what? I didn't hear that. What? This is day number, according to my calculations, 2,705 that Matt Gaetz has been in Congress and not doing a damn thing for the 1st District of Florida. Just to keep that in perspective, okay? And if you can prove otherwise, we welcome you to the show. We welcome your comments. But again, he hadn't done squat. And that's kind of insulting dogs with diarrhea when you say he hadn't done squat.
I like Firebrand. I love the Firebrand to come join the show one day.
Oh, he doesn't have the guts to do it. Greg Fink is there. Scott Miller is there. I'm Rob Milford. We will be back when we have a jury verdict on Donald Trump. Not sure how quick that will come. They may walk in and the guy says, "Hey, he's not guilty. Let's get out of here." Everybody will agree. They'll walk right back out. Maybe they'll have lunch. Probably have lunch first. Then they'll walk.
Probably.
We'll see. We'll see. Thanks, guys. We'll do it again.
Bye-bye.